Welcome to a new episode of Mic'd Up With Mass, our mobile UA podcast series, which is powered by Affle. Strengthened by India's increasing appetite for e-commerce, more and more brands are taking the route to reach consumers directly. With their smart marketing, unique product offerings, and a millennial user base that values innovation, D2C brands are the new buzzword in Indian commerce. Today, we are joined by MyGlamm's AVP Digital Marketing, Prajakta Rathe, for a riveting conversation around the Indian e-commerce space ahead of the festive season. Joining her is Nishant Malik, Director of Sale at Affle's Mass. Welcome to you both on Mic'd Up With Mass.
Thank you, Diksha.
Thank you, Diksha.
So Nishant, over to you.
Thank you, Diksha. So Prajakta, welcome to our interview series. It will be great if you tell our listeners about yourself and the work you do at MyGlamm.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Nishant and Diksha, both of you. So I am working on performance marketing at MyGlamm. So I look after performance marketing, and I would want to elaborate more on that would be that I really look after the D2C paid marketing area, where I'm more focused on driving revenue on MyGlamm. This is what I do, to be very, very short and precise.
So great to hear that. So moving on to my very first question, which is around the D2C boom we are seeing currently in India. So we've seen so many brands which are emerging within the e-commerce space into the D2C trend, which has been picking up quite well. So why do you think that so many brands are taking that direct route?
I think I would want to quote an aggregator here, which is Nykaa. They have given like a hope to this D2C market is what I can say. So when Nykaa came into picture, no one, like not even the consumers or even the business holders would have thought that, okay, this is what Nykaa can, go, where is it that they can go? Where is it that they can reach or where they have reached right now? So that kind of aspiration is what Nykaa has set for all the D2C, and especially I would like to say that especially for this kind of a market of the cosmetic market, makeup, skincare, and etc. So all of them, when there was like a hope, that was given to us, that we could see that, okay, this can drive, and especially the app market, which started also booming, in the given last 3 to 4 years. That is where I think all the D2C brands would have thought that if a website or an app can drive so many conversions and revenue out of the entire consumer based market, then why not drive that thing online? So I think that is the reason all of them are moving to this D2C session.
No, absolutely. I think also it has been interesting to note down the kind of fundraising which has happened within this particular category, within e-commerce and especially within the D2C brands, and of course the impact of COVID, which has impacted the industries globally. So yes, I think definitely this is an interesting opportunity within the fashion beauty space. So another question that I have for you is around the recent acquisition that MyGlamm just recently did, which was for Baby Chakra. So it is quite a different move, from beauty category to the kids specific domain. So what was the motivation behind this move, and do you see any kind of synergies or in-app cost trends in these two categories?
Yeah, actually not only these two categories. Let me take back you to that area where we have already acquired PopXO, right? Which is like a community and a content-driven platform.
Absolutely.
Which has over millions of followers and spread across languages on Instagram and on Facebook. So the following is huge. The first acquisition that was made in last August was PopXO. Now with PopXO coming, the objective obviously of MyGlamm is that to look and to target those folks who fall in this area only, that is more of being female centric, not just sticking to cosmetics, but female wide audience is what MyGlamm wants to get into, and that's why PopXO was the first move, and the second is Baby Chakra, and I promise that there are many more to come, because that's what the goal is. So we would want to be that platform where we have a majority of female audience under one umbrella and serving them multitude of products and maybe communities as well. That is what, so content and commerce, both of these are our major, that is what we are looking out for.
Understood. And also, I think this particular domain, like if you have to look at baby products, so again with the kind of boom that we are seeing and with people not really moving, offline and everything happening online, so definitely I think this thing, looks quite,
Yeah,
in terms
so
of synergies, we can see that.
Yeah, so the best part of Baby Chakra is, I feel that it is heavily, heavily content based and content driven platform. So if in that category, if the females, if the females are pregnant and, have just delivered a baby, those females are the ones, those new mothers are looking out for those type of content every month, every day with the symptoms that they come, they have. And that's when they search for Baby Chakra is one of those where it provides a lot of content, a lot of solutions to those mothers. And that's where the connection is made, and we want to take that connection to the next level by driving and having D2C on that platform as well, so giving those mothers one more solution and that kind of a touch from Baby Chakra that, hey, you have been our, such a good, and you are in this stage, you are a new mother, maybe you would like these products and we would want to get into that sector as well. So that is one more reason why I think Baby Chakra was chosen as a part to be a part of MyGlamm.
Understood. No, I agree with you. I think also, with like moving ahead on the festivity side, like with the festive season coming up, I think just like to hear your thoughts on the comparison with the last year. We've seen the consumer sentiments picking up this year with the, the second wave happened now. So any thoughts on that? Are you seeing, similar kind of trends at MyGlamm also?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of learnings. Actually, I have these learnings every year when it comes to festivities or non-festivities. But, there was a certain trend that was there before the COVID, you can say unlock 1, that was pre-July 2020. So everything was under COVID. There were no deliveries happening. Logistics was stopped. And when, July 1st, when there was an unlock, with the brand that I was before, I saw that there were many, revenge shopping that was happening, So July month was that month where there were a lot of shoppers. Like we had seen a spike in new users. And then after that, of course, the new user spike continued, and the tier 1, tier 2, the tier 1, tier 2, what do you call, the kind of spends or the kind of transactions and revenue that we were getting for both of these tiers, both of these kind of cities was almost equal. Now coming to this year is what I feel, people have become aware, are literally used to online shopping now, because last year is what they spent on maybe looking out for certain brands, and they were new users for certain brands, and now they would have become a loyal users, or they would have become like, okay, I know this brand. Okay, so they know that brand, that particular brand. Now when coming to this year, I think they're more aware, but they quickly switch when they get new offers in a particular season. So they have certain things which they have added to cart already, I'm sure about that. Or else they have it in mind, especially females. I can promise that we have so many things in our cart, and there are so many things that we have in our head. Okay, I want to buy this for my, Dasera and Diwali and maybe Ganpati and coming Christmas and etc. And when you have certain things in mind, you know, and specifically a brand as well, that okay, I would want to buy from maybe an H&M or maybe Nykaa or maybe Estee Lauder. But when it comes to the shopping, when I see a certain brand giving a very good offer to me, I can quickly switch, because my intent is very, very high during festivities. So this kind of change is what I don't think it was there before, because before people weren't aware much, people weren't shopping so much online. But now that they have become those kind of home online shoppers, they quickly can switch to multiple brands at any point, especially when the intent is very, very high to buy. This is what I feel I've come across.
Mm-hmm. And also on the user engagement front, like in-app trends as well, have you noticed a similar kind of uptick happening, and organically, obviously, users transacting more, or any changes in the in-app trends that you've seen?
So of course the retention metric is high on app. I wouldn't deny that at all. That is the easiest, way where we can get our customers loyalty and retain that loyalty is what that. But when it comes to in-app trend, I'm telling you this, I was surprised myself when I saw certain apps working in this sector. Like for example, MyGlamm has an app, and MyGlamm, serves so many consumers the kind of makeup products and skincare products. So to go above 1.3 million for a certain brand, I'm not talking about MyGlamm, but any other brand, to go about that mark is really, commendable, because that is not what I had also, anticipated from a makeup brand. So therefore, in-app, I would say, first of all, I would say app acquisitions, people are getting used to that, and especially females here again, that females are getting used to downloading the app and using it and transacting from it, and therefore retaining them on our app is getting better and better and better. And of course, I think consumers are demanding more of personalization, or more of personalized offers, or like birthday offers, or like credibility is what they are expecting when they download the app. The kind of service that they're expecting from the app, that is the reason the in-app trends are also, I could say, the CTRs are getting better, or the conversion rates are also getting better day by day. This is what I can say.
No, absolutely. I think personalization is something which also becomes like a key distinguishing factor compared to the clutter that is already there. So
absolutely
agree with you. So continuing our discussion on the festive season, I think we typically see a huge uptick during the festive time, on the consumer perspective side as well, and also within the brands, like they start focusing more on acquisitions. So what is your focus? Like, is it more around the user acquisition, or would you rather focus on improving the retention or LTVs, like we were already discussing about that? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's a mix of everything. I think it should and it will, and then we have already. But I would say this for other brands who might have not started it yet, or maybe even in the given year. See, for, like I said, users are aware right now. You have to be present throughout the year for them to make that decision in that in a particular festive time. So for example, your upper funnel campaign should always be there, or certain things that you want to promote. Say for example, you know that Diwali is, and it's on 4th November, so you know that it's there 2 months ahead. So start planning 6 months before that particular festive season, and start promoting 3-4 months earlier, because I'm sure females are, like I said, we have already added to cart. We just need offers, and I need to know which is that brand that is giving me most of the offers, with of course the products that I'm looking for. So that kind of metric, when first of all it's new user acquisition, right? And even before that, it's awareness that has to be there. That is of utmost importance, I feel. And once you have that awareness, it is easy to remarket and retarget those people, and then convert them in your last funnel. So basically, if you follow the entire funnel, however your frequency can go, Google has said that multiple times, the more the ad you show to your consumer, not the same ad, of course, not the same creative, but multiple ads, if you keep showing the same consumer, the consumer is likely to convert, of course, if they fall into that particular, target market. So user acquisition, brand awareness, and then comes the retention. So all three have to go hand in hand. It can't be just retention, just a new user acquisition, or just remarketing for that matter. So a nice blend of it is what required, I would say, a well advanced planning for festivities, because in India, festivities just don't stop, right? If they start, like there are so many festivities, there are like wedding season, so we have to be prepared for everything, is what I feel.
No, absolutely. I think the right balanced approach, and very well said, the planning should be well in advance.
Yes.
So on the user acquisition side also, like if you have to look at, say, last year versus this year, so if you have to do something different, like if you have to relook at your user acquisition channels, so what is it that you would suggest on that?
Relook at the acquisition channels, you mean?
On the user acquisition channels. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love to be in this space for this reason, because every time I am in a meeting with so many folks, like Affle also for that matter, it surprises me that there are so many new things that are there in the market, right? Especially for, I mean, I would not say just for user acquisition, but all type of user acquisition, I would say, not just for new users, but also for, returning users, that type of acquisition. So I really get astonished, and I really like that space where, there are multiple things that are going on. So for example, somebody asked me this, that, Prajakta, do you think that Snapchat will work? Because nobody uses Snapchat. I was like, no. It will definitely work, because if you don't try, however, MyGlamm has never tried working on Snapchat, but we're still working on Snapchat. We started a few more campaigns, and where I know that Snapchat, that particular female audience is very much like heavy, they have that heavy spending kind of an objective, or that is what they do. The ones who use Snapchat, they are mostly iOS users, so therefore they will increase your average order value, and that kind of information, for you to have is also important as a marketer. It's okay if you don't have that, but still you need to keep on trying new things, even if you think that just because I don't use it doesn't mean that the world doesn't use it, right? So for example, say there are retention, like Affle for that matter, or there are affiliate networks. So many of them, in fact, I am one of them who says that I don't, want to invest more into affiliate marketing, but I would still want to try and see that, okay, am I getting something out of it? And if I am, then at what rate and at what cost, and how is it that it is helping my brand on an overall level? Is it adding any value or not? So a value could be anything, but it is a value, right? So in terms of MyGlamm, and in terms of my experience, I feel that you should try whatever that comes to your plate, or whomsoever reaches out to you. However, I'm sure a delay can be there in that process, but I think a trial would always help you to understand if it is working or it is not working for the typical, for your brand.
Understood. So diversification is something is the key, right?
Yes.
Moving across different channels,
Yeah.
and trying out newer channels is
Absolutely.
what you're talking.
Absolutely. Yeah. You termed it correctly. Diversification is what is required.
Understood. In fact, we guys at Mass also, are trying to build out a unified platform for our advertisers to acquire users across multiple channels. So again, giving the advertisers an option to diversify, and across channels we can acquire the users.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
So moving ahead, another interesting question that I have for you. It's like a usual debate that we usually see between performance marketing and brand marketing. Now with Shraddha Kapoor as your brand ambassador, so what is it that you feel on this topic of typically performance marketing versus brand marketing? So where would you put your spends on if you have to look at especially the festive season?
Yeah, that's a debate that I am having since years. I think 6-7 years of my career, from the time that this performance term has come into existence. So I would say performance marketing cannot do anything, or cannot sustain on its own for a long period. You need brand marketing to give it a boost or to support your performance marketing. So if you don't create your upper and mid funnel, audiences, there will be a point where your, audience is going to saturate at a performance marketing level. For example, I just want to, elaborate on this and say that if you're only going to target consumers with a kind of, with that objective that, okay, hey, you know what, Facebook, just give me those consumers who are looking to buy my product. Okay, yes, sure. Facebook will give you that consumers, or say Google will give you those kind of consumers. But please keep in mind that this is not going to stay for long, because that, however the big network or inventory is, there will be a point where your acquisition cost will go high, or your revenue won't be as much as the last month, because you are not driving your upper funnel and mid funnel audiences, or you're not driving, or you're not reaching to the bigger umbrella, or to the umbrella of, say, just the beauty leaders, or beauty makeup in the folks with beauty and makeup interests. or you can say you're not reaching out to say mothers, okay, or you're not reaching out to the younger audience. So there is like obviously there are a lot of audiences to play with, and a lot of different communication to play with, because that is very, very important that you reach out to a specific user set with that type of communication, right? So when you say what does work well, what works well, is it performance marketing, is it brand marketing? No, again, a mix of it. Of course, your performance marketing is what gives, it is the bread and butter, but please understand that brand marketing is also very, very important for the performance marketing to sustain and to grow, because we just don't want it to sustain, but we want performance marketing to grow day by day, month on month, year by year. So for that to happen, your brand marketing strategy should be in place, again, well in advance, and has to be in line with your performance campaign. So it's not that you ran a certain brand campaign and your performance ads are saying something else altogether. So make sure that they all are in sync and they pass the same message to that consumer, so that the consumer is aware and consumer transacts, ultimately on your website.
Interesting thoughts. I think,
Yeah.
Completely agree with you there. So we move to another interesting part of the session. We'll switch the gears with our rapid fire round. So we'll ask you a series of 5 questions, and
Sure.
you can answer these questions in few words and sentences.
Okay.
So should we go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So very first question for you is 5 buzzwords for festive season trends in 2021 for app marketing.
Okay, communicate and connect with the users. Be aware of brand switchers. That's what I mentioned earlier. Give more and more discounts and offers, and be prepared for say revenge buying, maybe possible. I mean, I'm not sure of that now, but I think that it can come back anytime. Does that make it 5? Yeah, and be aware that your consumer is very well aware right now. So even if like the slightest mistake, you're going to get caught on Instagram. So yeah, so be aware of the consumer.
Understood. Interesting. A quote you live by.
There is a quote that I had heard by Jennifer Aniston. I am a fan, of course, of Friends and her. So she had quoted this: there are no regrets in life, just lessons. And I really live by that quote. So I believe in that quote. So yeah, that's a quote. There are no regrets in life, just lessons.
Interesting. So what makes you remain growth focused?
Oh, the dynamic, the dynamic nature of digital marketing. Every day I'm learning something. I have learned something new than yesterday. So when I look back like my yesterday or day before that, or even last week, I feel that I've learned more than last week. So this is what I love about digital marketing and the profession that I am. And hence, it makes me focus more and more on what, how that growth can be there.
Great. One retail fashion trend you're most intrigued by?
I would say a brand actually, and the trends follow. That is, I love the way they launch their collection and how they kind of promote it, and everyone in the world is just copying Zara. So I love that trend. And in fact, obviously that trend is followed by say Gucci or any bigger brands, but Zara is like the most reasonable, I feel. It's classy, reasonable, yet the trend is being followed everywhere. So that's what I like.
Mm-hmm. And one advice you will give to a D2C growth marketer?
Oh, okay. Of course, plan ahead of your competitors. That's very, very important. So make sure you are very well ahead of your competitors in terms of planning, at least.
Yeah, I think that's quite applicable all across.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, thank you so much, Prajakta. Thanks for being with us, and would like to hear from you any parting thoughts from your side, and we'll then end the session.
Sure. No, I loved it. In fact, I would want to highlight this thing to all marketers, to all the folks who are listening to us, that try and don't stick to one platform. Don't be dependent on one channel. You never know what's going to happen, because like I said, it's a dynamic, you are working in that space where every day is like a new day, and every time, every hour there is a new update that is coming across Google, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, everywhere. So therefore, you can't stick to just one platform and drive revenue. Of course, what works best, you should do that, but make sure that you diversify your spends and make sure your revenue is also diversified so that you are not dependent on one channel.
Great. I think
That's
very
my parting
nicely
thought.
summarized, Prajakta.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks for your
Nishant.
time. It was
Thank
a
you.
great session and pleasure having you here. Thanks
Same
again.
here. Same here. Thank you so much.
Great. On that note, we are at the end of another session of Mic'd Up with Mas. Thanks again to Prajakta and Nishant for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you again, Prajakta, to talk on the trends that will pan out in this year's festive season. For more insights on mobile UA, follow Mas on LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you.